A world without literature and film is hopeless and boring. Literature and film enchant us with fascinating stories and invite us to see our familiar reality with fresh insights. Comparative literature at Hong Kong U pushes beyond its traditional boundaries of European languages and the printed word. It anchors its various focuses on local and post-colonial cultures. We study literature and its relation to other arts and media such as film, to explore culture in a historical, global and cross-cultural frame. Stanley Guan's Rouge allows us to see the changing city and its history through a ghost's eyes. This fantastical story from Hong Kong cinema reminds us how often we have failed to notice the transformations in the world around us. It enables us to grapple with the fleeting sense of loss in a fast-paced city. The city is also like literature. It has its own structure, language, and narrative. Like other historical buildings, it constitutes our shared memories and collective experiences of living in Hong Kong. My lifelong goal is to open new doors for my students by allowing them to see things differently.
Dr. Cheung has brought students of comparative literature into an amazing journey of literary and cultural studies. I'm very happy to have her as my teacher throughout the years.
I think the spirit of comparative literature is embodied in Dr. Esther. Both of them are critical, engaging, yet passionate. I am and will always be grateful for her teaching and her supervision.
I firmly believe that one is not born a good teacher, but becomes one.
I specialize in information technology in education, e-learning design, instructional design. These days, things change very fast. Not just new technology tools available, but the changes in a paradigm of it. I also believe that as a teacher, I must engage a student in engagement and interactive learning to support their thinking and doing.
I think his ability to make jokes, it's that ability that allows him to connect to his students and to make them feel at ease.
I take a lot of what I've learned from him, even though I've been a physics teacher for 15 years, but still use his learning styles inside my classroom to try and motivate students using these different forms of technology.
My students constantly bring innovative possibilities to the classroom, and I'm very open to learn from my students about these possibilities.
As our division head, he pushes us to use learning outcomes and extend our teaching and learning so that our students can take what they learn in our classrooms and apply it in theirs. This is a critical thing, I think, for today's university students.
Now, the martial art is very much about the tradition, culture. It's about discipline, self-discipline, understanding yourself so that you can understand others. This is the why also how we should be teaching. I always tell to my colleagues to not just educate, but to design students' lives. As teachers, we are not just people who should pass the knowledge of our discipline to students, not just educate them about the specific discipline, specific professionalism, but we have to help the students to make a meaning of their life and their future careers.
One of the things that influenced me was just even my grandfather. When he was finished with work and he retired, he actually went back to school after retirement. Education wasn't something that was just preparing you for life. You enact what you study, you put it into practice. But I appreciate this philosophy that education was life itself. There was no distinction between how you understand and live versus how you learn. So it wasn't just something that prepared you for life, it was something that surrounded you. We as architects, I'd like for the students to become more aware as we're creating a new city or new environments, that we also have to question what we're erasing, what we're destroying in the same time.
He is a quite technical guy, and he teaches a lot of software technique that can be applied to my studio, and also a lot of practical issues in the real practice of architecture.
To Eric, I would say thank you for helping us, for helping me in particular. Through his courses and through the volunteering that I've done with him, I've really developed my interest in film and video.
I think for teaching, it's really important to approach it not just about the idea of delivering knowledge, not just the idea of giving what you know to the students, but also for the students to interact with one another, and so that they're sharing ideas between the class, because they'll spend far more time with themselves than they'll ever find or spend time with me.
I like doing bird watching and photography in my leisure time. It takes a lot of patience to snap a good photo. I find teaching and bird photography share something in common. With sufficient patience, you will be able to understand your students and help them to overcome problems. When I was a Form 2 student attending a lesson of integrated science, the teacher put too much sodium into a beaker of water. Suddenly, a beautiful and intense spark appeared right in front of me. I think that is the starting point for what I'm doing today. As a teacher, you will need to employ different methods to cater for different students' needs and class dynamics. You have to continually seek ways to improve, innovate, and be up to date. I enjoy spending my time interacting with my students. It is great to see my students grow and develop and be able to find their own path.
Attending Dr. Tong's lecture is always very relaxing and exciting because she is really very approachable and very friendly. We are just like friends most of the time.
I still remember her passion from her eyes in the lectures. She's a very hardworking person, very dedicated. That's what I have learned from her, to be a professional.
Chemistry is a fascinating field of study. It is also a big part of our everyday life. You can find chemistry in the foods you eat, the air you breathe, and the clothes you wear. Chemistry is all around us.